What's good, everyone? JMB 434 back again, and we're here with another Dynamite review. Now, before the sicko start, I enjoyed Dynamite this week. I thought Dynamite was very good. It was more action than talking. Still a bit of lack of the storytelling, but hell, I ain't lying. Dynamite this week was very good. So the show starts. Shivani in the middle of the ring as he introduces MJF. MJF comes out to a massive pop as usual. Heart and soul of AEW by some distance. Shivani says last week MJF successfully defended his title against Bandito. MJF wants him to shut his triple chin off. Says it's bad enough he has to see all these ugly people. Fucking I love MJF. He says that loosely, you're looking at a man who wears custom shoes, burpee pants, and burpee shirt, and he has the baddest woman you'll ever meet, which is Alicia too. He called her Tits McGee as well, by the way. To be fair, where's he wrong? And if you don't believe him, he'll show you his Triple B, the Ultimate Prize in the AEW World Championship, real diamonds and real platinum. So the Bandito was the first one to find out last week, and no one's on the level of the devil. Love the rhyme. To be interrupted by Brody King. About time Brody was actually in the main event scene. It's about damn time. Gets in MJF's face, and Tony gives him the mic and wishes him luck. King wants to be honest with him. After what he did to Bandito last week, all he could think of is the way that he wants to hurt you. As a Max. Nothing would bring him more joy than to put his fist into his chest and rip out his spine. MJF with the ultimate. That was the ultimate, literally, an onus when he said that Brody King can't beat elite talent and said he has squash matches. Damn, that was very good. And he said, if he interrupts him again, we will have a problem. I don't mind this match with MJF and Brody King. I'm a Brody King guy. Mo is a Brody King guy. It's about time that we see him on television. Cut to the announce table. Taz is back. After having knee surgery, that means Bryan Danielson will no longer be on commentary. See highlights from last week with Samoa Joe, Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, and Jetsby culminating the New Trios Championships after Powerhouse Hobbs is now gone from AEW. Opening match of the night, see Samoa Joe versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Bell rings. Joe decides to roll out of the ring. Stares off into the distance behind the announce desk before going back onto the apron. And we get a lockup when Joe comes back into the ring. Definitely didn't suit Bailey at all. Joe points to the ramp as rams Bailey into the corner. He has headbutts into the corner, sets up Bailey against the ropes. Speedball gets a few strikes that Joe eats it. He also eats 2 knee strikes from Bailey. Speedball keeps kicking away at Joe, manages to drop kick him to the floor. Bailey wants to hit the baseball slide. Joe catches him and removes 10 layers of skin with a chop. This chop was nasty, by the way. Joe goes to charge Bailey. Bailey catches Joe off guard and hits the moonsault to Joe on the floor. Shibata, and Hook are here. Joe distracts Paul Turner, the referee, so Shibata and Hook can stomp on Bailey, who returns to the ring as we go into commercial break. Joe has Bailey covered as we return from break. Joe whips Bailey as he eats a boot following up. Bailey to the top of the missile dropkick. Bailey with a litany of kicks. Bailey misses the running shooting star press, and Joe also misses the backsplash. Bailey to the top rope in the SSP for a cover. Joe literally is like a final boss at kick outs. It was literally a 2.5 seconds kick out. Joe goes to the apron with Bailey following. Bailey hits some kicks. Joe with some chops and a headbutt. Joe goes to suplex Bailey. Bailey ends up in the ring. Joe gets tripped over, but he misses the standing SSP. Joe takes Turner, so Shibata can hit a suplex on the apron. And another one to the floor, throws Bailey into the ring. People still wondering where Kevin Knight is. Isn't he meant to be his tag partner? No idea where. Joe sarcastically claps for Bailey. Speedball tries to chop Joe down, but Joe with a sit-down knee breaker. Joe applies a knee bar. Bailey makes it to the ropes. Joe mocks Bailey and hits him with a straight punch. And we get some chants called "Let's Go Horsecock." That was very weird. I got him at crowd on Dynamite last night. It was very, very good, by the way. Bailey catches Joe's kick. Joe turns into another knee bar. Bailey once more makes it to the bottom rope. Now, this match was heating, by the way. It was a very, very good match. I did enjoy this match. Joe then goes for the Coquina clutch. And then Bailey leans back to pin Joe. 2 count. Another kick from Bailey. Yet again, the option on the apron. Joe hits the muscle buster for the 1, 2, 3. Very, very good match. I did like this match a lot. Now, getting to something I don't like a lot. Dork Riders against the Don Callis family. Why? Right. I'm Mr. Positive, but why are we having 2 heel factions against each other? If this is a way to try and get Yuta and Garcia over, it is not working. The only one who's getting cheered is Mox. Jesus Christ. Death Riders meet the Don Callis family in the aisle as the bell rings. Moxley fights Archer into the crowd while Yuta and Hechicero fight on the aisle. Garcia took care of Romero. He comes out to help Yuta neutralize Hechicero. Garcia applies an ankle lock to Hechicero. While Mox and Lance Archer fight to the back in the ringside area. What happened to Lance Archer, man? When he was paired with Jake Roberts, I thought he was going to be world champion material. Sadly, I was wrong. Hechicero taps out, but no one saw it. And then we get "fuck Don Callis" chants, as you know. Mox and Archer finally get back into the ring. Death Riders proceed to run train on Archer. Archer grabs Moxley and Garcia for a double goozle. Yuta drop kicks Archer. All 3 guys send Lance Archer out of the ring. I'm annoyed why they're not doing much with Lance Archer. People say he's the team with Damian Priest, but no, I do like Lance Archer. He's very good. Yuta gets a chokeslam from Archer for the timekeepers to the timekeepers area. And then all 3 of the Don Callis family are ganging up on Garcia, which I like, and Mox as we go to commercial break. I'm not a Daniel Garcia guy. He's fucking boring. We call him a Max Wrestling. We call him the Mood Hoover. That's what he is. He's fucking boring. Come out from break. Everyone is fighting everywhere. Yuta's still dead on the outside. Garcia gets triple drop kicked by the Don Callis family while he's inside a trash can. Leaves all 3 guys and Moxley to get into the ring. Moxley throws a trash can to the face of Hechicero and clotheslines Romero out of the ring. Mox and Archer throw hands. Archer wins the bout and drops Mox to the floor. Archer goes outside and introduces another table. He sets up into the corner. Marina Shafir is now in the ring. Archer laughs and goozles her, but the joke's on him as Marina goes on a triangle choke while slapping Archer. To be fair, though, I mean, I would not mind Marina putting me in the mother's milk. I can't deny that. I might get cancelled for that, but who cares? Mox hits a cutter to Archer. Blinds up Archer against the table. And Archer moves. Moxley throws onto the brakes. Archer picks up Mox and puts him through a table. Garcia's back. Boring. He foolishly tries to goozle Archer. Slaps him instead. Yuta comes back with a psycho knee. Another one to Archer combined with a back trip while Yuta sends him for the match. It's over. They're not going to get Garcia or Wheeler Yuta over. It's not working. It's never going to happen. It's not like they have heat. They've got go away heat. I mean, get the fuck off my television screen. But like I said, sickos, I enjoyed Dynamite this week. This match was down to Roy Cook. I gotta be very honest. Probably because John Moxley was in the match. Mox is starting to really starting to win me over again. Right, what was that? Hechicero and Romero back into the stereotypus stretches to Yuta and Garcia. Mox returns to the ring, hits a double DDT on Hachicero and Romero. Mox goes under the ring and finds the barbed wire and broken glass covered table. I think you all know what's going to happen. Let's just go straight to the point. Archer chokeslams Mox through the glass table as per usual. Death Riders win. Hachicero put in the Bulldog choke by Moxley. And Yuta stomps Romero's head into the floor. Garcia applies the Dragon Tamer. Romero taps out. Sometimes I miss Dean Ambrose, man. I miss Dean Ambrose, but if John Moxley's happy with these death matches, who am I to kid? I mean, I'll always respect John Moxley no matter what as a wrestler. Marina gives Moxley a mic as Garcia and Yuta stand over Don Callis. Moxley says, whenever your boy is ready, tell him I'll be waiting. I have no idea who he's referring to. Is it Okada? I think it's probably going to be Okada. I would have Mox against Takeshita. That match would be fucking awesome. Triangle Madness, a better tackler in my life. A better tackler. We all love tackler. Note so Chris Statlander hands out towel shots to everyone else. But when she pins Chris, she asks him when she'll do it again. Tackler will give her 1 week to and be with her family before she takes care of a stupid alien ass. I like this. Tackler's fucking great promos. I love Tackler. Next week, she wants a title shot. Julia Hart says, she recalls correctly, she never got her TBS title rematch when she lost it to Willow. Sky Blue says that this is the year of sin. Damn right. Everyone loves a bit of Sky Blue. And Tackler spits on the camera guy. I mean, I wouldn't like to be spat on by Tackler, but Tackler comes dead close up to me. I'd be happy. Okay, I'm going to get banned from this fucking channel soon. FTR face Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. Who? These are two dudes that MJF saw in the independent scene. So Oliver Wheeler to start. Cash takes him down to the mat and says, not tonight. Gets back to their feet. Wheeler hits a shoulder tackle. And another one. And a third attempt, but Oliver with a standing crossbody. Wheeler catches him. Oliver sends him up rolls up for 2. Oliver with a dropkick party for Cash and Dax, who decides to enter the ring because he can. It's Dax Hardwood. I'm going to skip to the rest. Shot machine on Jordan Oliver, and it's 1, 2, 3. FTR, they're the best going. Stat and Babes of Wrath are in the back. Chris thinks Tackler doesn't understand what makes it tick. There's more underneath than the alien allure. So if you want to poison her, try it because she will take her down. Willow Nightingale says Julia Hart will get a rematch. That's on Collision. Who watches Collision? I don't know. Do you remember that light always overcomes darkness? Holly Cameron then says she'll be there too to do. She doesn't know. She's just going to be there. I love Holly. She's very entertaining, but she's definitely the type of girl that your mom will fucking adore. Let me tell you that. Next up, speaking of adore, Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander. What a match. Absolute brilliant match. It's showing that Kenny's getting his aura back again. Starts off, Alexander attacks Kenny from behind. Alexander takes him around ringside and chokes him out with his towel. He rips apart the mat on the floor. Omega isn't going for that. Enters the ring, hits a crossbody block to Josh Alexander. He returns Josh to the ring, and the bell finally rings. Omega gets a 2 count, sends Alexander from the ring, and the Terminator pose is upon us. Kenny goes to fly. Alexander gets on the apron and hangs Kenny up on the top rope. Alexander pulls Kenny to the apron, and it's a side suplex on the apron as we head to commercial break. Return from break. Alexander and Kenny are trading shots as we return. Fucking Josh Alexander. Remember, he was the TNA World Champion for fucking ages, by the way. Let me just remind you of that. Hopefully, they'll finally put some championship gold on Josh Alexander at one point. Josh shuts it down quickly and picks up Kenny. Launches him for the torture rack. Gets a 2 count. Kenny has his foot on the bottom rope. Alexander grabs Kenny's hands, taunts him, and hits his version of the own V trigger. Alexander carries Kenny to the top of his shoulders, and it's an avalanche plunge. Both guys end up on the floor. Josh wants to revisit the exposed floor. Omega fights it off and reverses Josh Alexander. Hits a low-angle German onto the concrete. Kenny returns to the ring, and the Terminator pose is successful this time. Love it. As he flies over the top and hits Santon on Josh Alexander, Omega returns Alexander to the ring and goes to the top rope. He catches an unaware Alexander with a missile dropkick neckbreaker for a 2 count. Kenny walks around for a bit and then teases the V trigger. Alexander catches him with an enziguri. Then Alexander superplexes both him and Kenny over the top rope onto the apron. Callis asks if Kenny is okay, and he goes to check upon him. Interesting. Despite Alexander hitting the suplex on Kenny, Kenny is the first one to his feet. That doesn't work for me, brother. A hockey fight breaks out with both men, and Alexander Kenny slams Alexander's face on the announce table to let you know it's 2:30 in the morning here in the UK while I'm recording this. Kenny turns his attention to Don Callis, who drops his headset and runs away like a scalded dog. And from my legend, Jim Ross. Omega comes to the ring. Alexander catches Kenny in the ankle lock onto the apron. Alexander pulls Kenny up onto the apron, and it's a dragon screw to Omega between the ropes. Josh takes off and hits the running crossbody. And Kenny then wins with the V-trigger and a Poison Rana and hits the One Winged Angel for the 1-2-3. Great match. There's no way Kenny was going to lose. Fantastic match. It's showing, I think what we're going to happen, we discussed this on Max. I've got a big suspicious feeling that the main event of All In is going to be Kenny Omega defending the title because he's going to beat MJF against Will Ospreay. Tony will want to make sure that that'll be the main event. If you have that match, you'll sell out All In. 100%. Kenny then gets a mic. Nerve-wracking. I don't like Kenny's promo. Say you'll give him credit. This is stuck by the eye in his heart. Kenny then says he will go for the World Heavyweight title. And he does his usual, I must bid you adieu, so goodbye, and good night, bang. Great match. Time for the Goddesses and the Timeless Love Bombs. Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa against Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Oh, lovely bit of Penelope, man. No, it's her and then the Harley Quinn fucking cosplays, man. Fucking great. Penelope looks fucking incredible, by the way. So Tony and Mina hit the ring to go for the attack. Ford and Bayne have other ideas with a double whip. Leads to a meeting of the minds between Megan and Penelope. Storm uses Mina and slams her on Bayne and gets a 1 count. Mina trips up Bayne. Storm with a leg drop. Mina hits a springboard splash to a 2 count. Try to send Megan off. She won't budge. This is why Megan Bayne should have beat Tony Storm in the first place. Don't know why. What are they doing with Megan Bayne? It's just fucking getting stupid. So this match was a little bit clunky at the time. Mina is always taking the pin. Maria Shafir then puts Maria Shafir interrupts again as usual. She puts Tony Storm in the mother's milk. And then the Doomsday Device follows for the 1-2-3. Very disappointing match. Wasn't really the greatest, I'm very honest with you. Got a video package of Roderick Strong, who defeated Hechicero to become the #1 contender for Claudio Castagnoli and the CMLL World Heavyweight title. I look forward to that. You know I'm a Roddy guy. Everyone knows I am a Roderick Strong guy since his days in NXT. Speaking of liking, main event. Swerve Strickland versus Kevin Knight. Bell rings. Taz makes me laugh saying he hates both of these guys. Starts off. Knight takes Swerve Strickland to the corner. Swerve hit back to the center as he takes Knight to the mat. Big Bill incoming from Swerve. Another lockup. Strickland with a wrist control as he takes Knight down to the mat. Knight manages to roll through. However, and words were traded. Knight with a leapfrog and an arm drag to Swerve. Swerve then gets to his feet. Knight sends him down to the floor. Knight goes for a baseball slide. Swerve gets out of the dodge. Thinks he's out of range, so he grabs Knight flying over the top and sends him out, sends to take him out. Back to the ring. Knight mocks Swerve's dancing. This enrages Swerve, who grabs him by the fingers and takes him to the corner. Sits him on the top rope and slaps Knight out of the ring to the floor. Strickland grabs Knight and takes him to the ring steps. Knight hit a back body drop and Swerve crashes to the floor. Knight falls up with a missile drop kick from the steps, and that'll take us to what should be the last commercial break. We do go for a piss load of fucking breaks. Come on, AEW, better than this. Back from break. Swerve and Kevin Knight trade shots in the middle of the ring as we come back. Swerve wins out and whips Knight into the corner. Snatches Knight up and hits a backbreaker. Swerve goes in the middle rope and hits a flying elbow to the back. Swerve definitely does his dancing this time, gets a 2 count. Swerve goes for the Boston Crab variation. Knight fights him off. Knight hits some slaps. Swerve implores him and hits him some more. Knight suckers Swerve in, hits a bad body drop. Both men to their feet. Knight avoids a Swerve kick and lands some elbows into a jumping clothesline. Knight with a scoop slam to Swerve and standing splash misses. Rolling flatliner connects by Swerve. Noble was home for the house call. However, Knight hits a running splash, this time for a 2 count. Swerve turns the tables and puts Knight on the top rope. Knight avoids his attack and he slips out. Looks for a sunset flip powerbomb, which eventually gets on the second occasion. Roll through DDT. Knight gets a 2 count. Swerve goes to the apron. Knight looks for the running DDT again. Swerve catches him and hits the DVD on the apron. Swerve then contemplates returning Knight into the ring. Instead, he takes him out to the barricade. Cuts the barricade and Swerve hits a pile driver on the wall. Ouch. That looked like it did definitely hurt. Swerve returns to the ring and is confident didn't want the count out win. Knight makes a clear on the count of 9. Strickland then greets him with a 450 splash to the back. Swerve gets a Dragon Sleeper. Knight breaks free. So Swerve puts him onto the top rope. Knight escapes the grasp of Swerve and lands on the apron. Springboard backs in and hits a Hurricane Rana from the top rope. That was neat, by the way. Fucking fantastic. Knight goes to the top rope and Swerve goes into the corner. Kevin Knight hits a coast-to-coast dropkick with a UFO splash. Recover. 1, 2, and Swerve grabs the ropes. Wow. This was getting neat. And a bit of mind games. Knight hits the house call to Swerve for another 2 count. Swerve and Knight make it to their feet crisscross. Swerve catches Knight with a house call. Vertebreaker by Swerve. Hits the big pressure. And 1, 2, 3. Incredible match. Let me say one thing about Swerve. Swerve is great. Kevin Knight, put him going for a mid-card title for the love of God. I love Kevin Knight. I'm a big fan of his. First time I saw him was actually in Maple Leaf Pro. I was very surprised WWE never snapped him up. Tell you, WWE's lost AEW game. Yeah, I enjoyed Dynamite. I would give Dynamite a solid 7 out of 10. But the good thing is this time that there was more wrestling than bloody yapping, so it was great. Still hating Excalibur on commentary. Get Shivani off television. He's fucking boring. Great that Taz is back, but I'm going to miss Brian on commentary. I think Brian's great on commentary. So yeah, that is your Dynamite review done. To let you know, I will be getting NXT and Raw done. I've also recently uploaded... I've also recently just done the Royal Rumble 1992 as a bit of a review. So all is good. So remember, hit the like and subscribe button. NXT and Raw are on the way. I was going to cover TNA's disaster show last week, but I opted against it because I would have lost my shit. Anyway, hit the like and subscribe button. Peace out. Thank you all. See you soon.